Hi bestie, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here and spending part of your day with me. It truly means the world. Thank you, thank you. So, I just uploaded my last reading vlog and I had so much filming it. I had so much fun filming it, so I kind of wanted to keep the momentum going. As you can tell, we are going to be doing a reading my September TBR. Every month I pick 6 books. There's a couple summary books on here, which isn't the most accurate, but I'm really going to hone in on fall reads either later in the month or if I finish my TBR, or definitely October and November time. But I kind of wanted to switch it up a little bit and use a spin the wheel because I just wanted to do something different, something fun, and take the control and decision out of my hands. So we have a spin the wheel for my 6-book TBR. I'm going to run through them really quickly. We have The Bright Years by Sarah DeMoff. This is a library book and it's actually due tomorrow, so I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to keep this copy, but I do have it on my Kindle and I believe I have the audiobook downloaded, so we can still read this story this month, maybe just not the library physical copy. Okay, that was long-winded. Then we have The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. The next book I have is Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. And then we have Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. The next book I have is 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand. Again, this is kind of the ones where I'm like, it's not technically the most appropriate for September. So there's that. And then the final book I am so excited for is Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I am so excited that I actually have all 6 copies here. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel, see what fate I have in store. I'm excited for all of these, and if you're excited to come along the journey, I'm assuming this is going to be very yappy, so I apologize, but it's just who I am in real life, and so I hope that comes across to you guys. We're going to go ahead and screen record. I think that should be included. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna have any sound. I'm so nervous. Okay, we're spinning the wheel. What is it? Oh my god, it's still going. Oh my god, it's The Bright Years. Didn't I just say I was excited for it because it's literally going to be returned tomorrow? Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you, spin the wheel vibes, you know? Oh my god. Okay. This is a great start to this video. Okay, that was very exciting. I'm so glad that happened. Okay, so this is a debut book by Miss DeMoff here. This sweater is like, I feel like there's fibers all over my face since wearing it. Okay, I'm going to read the synopsis. If you don't care, you can skip ahead. Ryan and Lillian Bright are deeply in love, recently married, and now parents to a baby girl, Georgette. But Lillian has a son she hasn't told Ryan about, and Ryan has an alcohol addiction he hasn't told Lillian about. So Georgette comes of age watching their marriage rise and fall. When a shocking blow shatters their fragile trio, Georgette tries to distance herself from the reminders of her parents. Years later, Lillian's son comes searching for his birth family, so Georgette must return to her roots, unearth her family's history, and decide whether she can open up to love them or herself while there's still time. Told from 3 intimate points of view, The Bright Years is a tender, true-to-life novel that explores the impact of generation in a family torn apart by tragedy, but over time restored by the power of grace and compassion. Okay, I have a feeling this is going to be quite heavy, but I'm excited, and the font is pretty large in my opinion, and it seems like it's only like about 300-ish pages. 269. Damn. Well, 272 pages. So, there we go. Let's start The Bright Years. I'm so excited. I should do this more often. have not moved, but I have been reading. So that's a plus. I am on page 42 of The Bright Years, and I just wanted to potentially throw out a trigger warning. This book, the female main character, she just had a miscarriage. So if that is a sensitive topic, I highly encourage you, and again, I'm only a fraction into this book, so I don't know if there's going to be future trigger warnings, so maybe go into this book knowing some of the triggers, but I just wanted to throw it out there in case you or someone you know might be affected by that experience written in detail. So, love you, bestie. Other things I wanted to say is I'm loving the descriptions. I think her writing is really beautiful, and I've already been taking several pictures of some of the quotes in here. I just think that they are really well done. Again, I'm so little into the book right now, but on this trajectory, I could see myself purchasing this just to have like a physical copy because I'm really enjoying the female main character. She, Lila, what's her name? Lillian. She keeps referencing something that is mentioned in the description of the book, so I'm really curious to see what kind of tragedy unfolds and how Georgette comes into the plot slash story. So I think it's really fast paced. I'm on 1972 to 1973, so another year into their marriage. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. So check trigger warnings because there is some descriptions that some readers could find sensitive. So. Downstairs, my dogs are playing, so if you hear them, I apologize. But I just read part 1, which was Lillian's story, and it was so heartbreaking yet hopeful. It is like the epitome of choosing someone through addiction, loving them at a distance, loving them up close, loyalty, like, it was so good. I loved it, and now puppy is so stubborn. Anyways, now we are getting the perspective of Jet, which is the daughter in this story. Her name is Georgette, but she goes by Jet, or I guess that's what they call her. And I'm really excited to see, because right now I think she's 14, so she's in her teenage years. She's probably gonna be like a little bit dismissive of her parents. She's gonna probably have like a heartbreak, stuff like that. So I am definitely intrigued to see Jet's story. It starts off in 2001, and then way in the back, like at around on page 235, we get Jet's point of view, or not Jet, Ryan's point of view, which is the husband and dad. So, and that is 2012. So we have about like 10, 11, 12 years with Jet. So I have a feeling this could be her going through school, college, career, love, maybe loss, I don't know. But I'm excited and I'm loving it, and I'm loving the writing. I want to see how many screenshots or pictures I took of some quotes, because there's quite a lot. Yeah, okay, I took about 30 pictures, which is definitely like 30 or several quotes. So I am very eager to take all of these quotes and then put them in my Kindle highlights. I think the audiobook says I have about like 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 8 minutes. So it's only 2:30. I could easily see myself binging the rest of this, which is perfect timing because then I don't want to get ahead of myself, but there's a good chance that I actually read this entire thing before having to return it to the library. So that is my update. I absolutely devoured Lillian's point of view, seeing her struggle with her husband who's an alcoholic and kind of the hurt it causes the family of alcoholics and addiction. So now we're going into the daughter's point of view. Yeah, this book is really good. This book is really good. Sarah DeMoff's writing is so good. I love her one-liners in here. It feels so real. I think she's going about it in like a heartbreaking yet realistic way. That is my update. So I wanted to give an update really quickly with The Bright Years by Sarah DeMoff. I was listening to the audiobook last night while cooking dinner and just chilling, and I think I have about an hour left in the audiobook, which is great because I have to return it to the library today. So I figured we could finish it together at the library, which I think will be fun and different. I'm almost done with Georgette or Jet's story, and it took a completely different turn than I thought. Really fucking heartbreaking, and I found myself taking lots and lots and lots of pictures of quotes. So I can't wait to translate all of that into my trusty dusty Kindle here. But yeah, I just wanted to give an update. I have about an hour left and I'm really hesitant, I guess. It's definitely heavier than I thought, but I am like feeling like it's a 5-star. I mean, this is like a fantastic debut novel, so I feel as though this is probably going to be like another auto-buy author for me, and I'm just excited to like actually have a really good book that I'm looking forward to reading but not wanting to end. And again, just the writing style and some of the quotes are just chef's kiss, literally. Oh my god, should we? Okay, actually, let's do this. Let's actually pick my next book, because then maybe we can start it today. Yeah, let's spin the wheel now. Spin it. Okay, let's 3, 2, 1, let's spin. See what book we're getting next. Okay. 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand, which is right here. So this is perfect because I feel like it's the middle of the month, but it's fine. We're just gonna read it. I'm not sure what this is gonna entail, but I will definitely bring that to the library with me, and maybe we can read like the first couple of chapters or something. So yep, that's my update. I'm super excited. 28 Summers is next, and let's go from there. All right, let's finish The Bright Years, let's return the book, and let's start 28 Summers.
love you, Baba. You sunbathing?
I just feel so amazing because I just filmed, edited, and uploaded my fall TBR. So you should definitely go after this video, go check it out because I kind of killed it. And we talked about a lot of good books. Okay, so make sure if you feel inclined to stay on my channel, it'd be cool if you watched it and showed it some love. But it is about time that I give you an update on 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand, alright? I am about this far in, which I don't really know the percentage, probably like 30 something. I'm on summer number 8, and to be honest, like, I don't care. Male main character and the female main character are basically just, I'm pretty sure it's well known, but they're just cheating. And I fucking hate that. Like, it is irking me. I'm not rooting for either of them because they both acknowledge it and know it's wrong, but they're still going behind the male main character's wife's back. I don't care if it's a loveless marriage. I don't care if you love that, you like, okay, I know you can love multiple people probably at once, but like, have some respect. You clearly, talking to the male main character, you clearly care more about Mallory than you do your wife Ursula. So fucking get it together. Get it together. Like, I'm so irritated. I'm mad. I'm in a weird limbo where I want to DNF because I simply am not rooting for any of the characters, but it's the literary fiction part that like I'm interested about, like their jobs, what they're doing, who they're interacting with, and how they're impacting their community and stuff like that. Like, I don't care for the romance at all, but I'm still like, all right, I'm down to see what happens. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Bessie, I can't even say I'm enjoying this book. Like, eesh. Also, I updated my phone and I cleaned it, and I just feel like I have a new phone again. Why is that a thing? Oh, I'm 44% through the book, and it says I will finish it in 3 hours and 21 minutes. So, like, really, that's not that long, and I guess I'll continue it. But, like, since the 1st of September, I've picked this book up 7 times, and I've only read 2 hours and 38 minutes of it. I guess I will listen to it while I eat lunch today, but, like, come on now. Get your shit together. You guys are so unlikable. I hope it changes. I hope something dramatic happens and they like come to a realization of how fucked up what they're doing is, how fucked up. That didn't make sense. So I'm gonna go. shorts. Stop it. I'm trying to talk. We have my iced matcha latte. Now this is a sip cup, but I still use a straw. I don't want the watered down part at the top. You know what I'm saying? I did matcha today, something different. Look at him sitting on her. You're sitting on her. All right, so we have Miss Kami right here, all right? And I'm gonna talk about 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand. Can you tell I'm like traumatized by her? You're just a menace. You're just a menace. So, I feel like we're just hanging out, you know? So I like really heavily considered DNFing. However, I looked at reviews on Fable. People said that the ending is like really heartbreaking and or bittersweet and sad-ish. I decided I didn't have much left in the book. I've already dedicated so much time, so let's just finish it, if you know what I'm saying. Bingo, do you want to come here? Nope, call me. Okay, well, these are my reading buddies. You're trying to get the toy. That's fucked. Get a puppy, they said. It will be fun, they said. I don't think Bingo thinks it's fun. I don't really have much else to say. I'm mostly listening to it via audiobook just because I really, again, don't care about the male main character, Jake, or the female main character, Mallory. And in one of the reviews, they said they gave it a 1 star. And I was like, I understand. They said that the only thing that they like, year by year, they have a what are we talking about kind of thing. So, for example, for 2012, we're talking about the Kardashians, Whitney Houston, Uber and Lyft, Sandy Hook, Hurricane Sandy, LeBron James. Those are my favorite parts of the book. It's the little blurb of what we're talking about that year, because some of the years I was like way too young to even have any recognition ever. So I love that. Regardless, I don't have much to say, and most of it is not a positive. So that's just really great. Okay, hi besties. I finished 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand. I am going to give this 2 stars. It just wasn't my cup of tea as far as storytelling goes. And yeah, I just felt like this was very long for no reason. I do know it goes through 28 summers, so clearly there's a lot that happens in each summer, but no. I'm sorry. My phone just turned back on because it died, because I guess I didn't charge it last night. Do my next spin the wheel. We have 4 books left. God, are going to spin the wheel and see what it lands on. I'm scared. All right, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna spin it. Oh, okay. I'm not mad at this. Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. Honestly, I kind of was hoping for this. I don't know why I put this book back on my freaking TBR shelf. There. We have Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. This is hopefully going to be a short, fun, different change of pace. I have the audiobook on Libby. Shout out to Libby. And I was kind of hoping I would get to this soon because of my loan going to expire. I think I have 10 days left. There looks like there's an email. That's fun. All I know about this is I think it follows the last sister in the When in Rome series. It's Emily. And Jack Bennett. Jack is too close to Jake, okay? The last male character in 28 Summers was Jake, so now it's Jack. It's too close. Can you tell I'm triggered? All I know is that it says two feuding second grade teachers and neighbors find themselves teaming up in this new rivals to lovers romance. I think she accidentally sent a manuscript to the principal, and then they kind of have to like steal back the manuscript from the principal's office. I'm pretty sure is kind of the synopsis I know of. Honestly, I am not mad. Content warning. What could possibly be in this? Let's get to it. This is longer than I thought, actually. 361 pages. Doesn't it look shorter than 361? Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling and yapping because this is a lengthy vlog, and we're just gonna go ahead and start it. I will update you when I have more thoughts and opinions. Those emails that were sent, that were in the very beginning, feisty. They're feisty. I am very curious to get more backstory on that. Feisty. That's my only thought right now. I just realized this is not the last When in Rome book, I'm pretty sure, because I just mentioned the sister in culinary school. Yeah, In Your Dreams. This is the book I was talking about. Okay, so it's not the last one, but it comes out in December. How exciting. Okay, I just needed to redact my statement. It is not the last one. It is the third one out of 4. So exciting. I've already tabbed like 4 things, and I'm on page 19. I'm loving Noah and Amelia little cameo because they were my favorite couple. Annie and Will have already been mentioned. Like, this is the found family I'm loving. This is the found family. I guess they are family because they're siblings, but like, you get what I'm saying, right? Like the callbacks to previous couples. Love. Okay, I'm leaving, but I just had to say I was wrong. Okay, hi bestie. I have been reading for the past hour and a half, a little bit more than, and I got to page 105. I'm on chapter 9, Jack's point of view, and I am loving it. I mean, I just love Sarah Adams' writing. I think she's super funny. The banter between the two characters, like, it is just chef's kiss. I love it. I think it is just such a good change of pace / scenery from 28 Summers that I just finished. I also don't know if you are going to be able to tell, but I have been tabbing the crap out of this book. I'm like, do I have enough tabs for the rest of the book? Let's be real. What it's about, it is about Emily. She's very much, she loves her control. She's very beloved in Rome, Kentucky. Then we have Jack, which is Jackson Bennett, and his dad is a like famous author, and so he has been writing under a pen name because he doesn't want to be potentially considered not successful because of his dad, but he is wildly successful. And we just got a part where Jack was looking at Emily's bookshelves, and I kind of wanted to read it to you. It's on page 103. It also mentions the sister and brother, and I just thought it was really wholesome. So it says, Jack isn't looking at the romances though. His eyes are focused on the top shelf at my small collection of mystery novels. It consists of 2 series. Both were given to me by Noah because he wanted to be included in our book club but didn't own any romance novels. How cute! I love Noah! See? this is how I know when in Rome is a 5-star, because even when I'm getting like a drop of Amelia or Noah, I'm like giddy. I'm giddy. There's another quote on page 101. It says, "Just how often do you picture me, Jackson? I guess a little of that flirtation from the road has lingered, but his smile is a feral thing, more than either of us is comfortable with." Oh. He is renovating his new old house. That's literally the words that Sarah Adam used. He is renovating an older house, but he's new to the town. And I just am loving that whole bickering banter between the characters because they're neighbors, by the way. They are neighbors. It does say it on the back of the book. And so him renovating this house and her getting mad at the renovation/construction noise is just like, I'm eating it up. I'm literally eating it up. I definitely think I can make at least like another 2.5 hours of reading minimum. I mean, I'd love to finish this today so we can pick another book from my TBR, but I'm loving this. I literally was gonna say, I don't know what the exclusive edition has differently than the other books, but it's literally just a behind the scenes Q&A. Thought we were gonna get like a bonus chapter or something, but whatever. And then I have one more note. I would definitely recommend to read this in either May or June, maybe July time. So I'm definitely reading it past the probably ideal time to read it, but I don't care. I'm still loving it. All right, I'll talk to you later when I have more updates. Light is bright. I don't know if it's, I think it's better. And I'm on chapter 18, page 204 of her. And I thought this premise was gonna be like way more about the stealing part, but it is not. And it's like a pleasant surprise, if that makes any kind of sense. Maybe if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. I think we just got to the part where they are actually going to try to steal back said manuscript. I am loving Jack as a male character. He's supportive. He is breaking a heart that he didn't break, if you know that saying. I think he's very attentive, and I think he is a really good balance to our female main character, Emily. Loving Jack, as per usual. Sarah Adams men, I don't know words. I'm not getting 5-star feelings, but man, is it so refreshing to read and be back in the Rome, Kentucky universe. I'm bothered that I have been putting this book off for so long. The audiobook says I have about 2.5 hours left, which I can totally... Didn't I say that I wanted to read about 2 hours earlier? And here I am saying that I read 2 hours. Look at me. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see all of them, but there's definitely a lot, and I'm enjoying it. I'm worried I'm gonna be running out of them for this last remaining bit because I always end up tabbing a lot towards the end. So, love it. Love it. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to report, so I will be back with my maybe one more update before I finish it. Okay, hi bestie. I just finished Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. I think I'm landing on a 4-star. It was cute. I loved it. I really thought it was going to be a 4.5, but there were just some things I felt like kind of took us away from the two characters. but also I love the found family in it, so we'll see. This video is already long enough, so I'm landing on a 4-star, and that's that. Now I get to add it to my bookshelf. Okay, bestie, it is now time to pick my next book. It is currently the 21st, so I don't know how many more books we're going to be able to read, because kind of all of them are chunky. We definitely got rid of the smaller books first, so we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm pretty sure I have the audiobook for all 3 of these, so let's spin. I'm scared. Okay. Yeah, it's time. It is time to freaking read another Kristen Hanna book. This is great. This is exciting. We have Firefly Lane by the Queen Hanna. Queen Kristen Hanna. Yeah. Now, this is very chunky. Very chunky. Oh my goodness, is it nearly 500 pages? Okay, so it looks like this book was very personal to her. She lost her mother to breast cancer. Don't be afraid to ask questions or get second opinions. We women know our bodies. We know when something doesn't feel or look right. We need to embrace our knowledge of ourselves and not take no for an answer. I know it can be scary and difficult, but fear is no excuse to turn away. If you find yourself hesitating or giving in to your fear, look to a friend for help and support. That's the best thing about being a woman. We're always there for each other. Oh. Oh. Yeah, alright, this is the book that it picked. Let's go ahead and start reading her. I am scared. This is so beloved. This is so beloved, and, like, just the women is on a god tier level for me. I'm like, oh, and then Nightingale ruined me. Ruined me. Emotional damage for sure, so I'm afraid that this is going to ruin me and give me another dose of emotional damage. Yeah, this is a chunky book. No better time to start than now, I guess, right? Hello. Okay. I figured I should give you my, I think, first update for Firefly Lane by Miss Kristen Hanna. Now, it feels so good to be back in her writing. I love it. It is so descriptive. It's very easy to read. I can't say anything bad about Kristen Hanna's writing. Now on to the plot. I thought it followed 3 women, but I really think it's 2. Kathleen, but she goes by Katie, and Tallulah, but she goes by Tully. And they kind of grew up across the street together on Firefly Lane, and they kind of befriend each other in, I think, high school, and they kind of just become the dynamic duo. And I think it is so sweet that Tully found a friend in Katie, and if you've read it, you know why. If you haven't read it, just know that Tully's life is not easy. She doesn't get anything handed to her, and her family dynamic is very different compared to Katie, and that they're very polar opposites, as in like interests, introvert, extrovert kind of thing. Yeah, I would say you should probably check trigger warnings, because Tully experiences something pretty disgusting and jarring in the first, I don't know, 30 pages. And then it also discusses grief and foster care and sexual assault. So I would just maybe go into some trigger warnings if you are more of a sensitive reader. Now I'm excited though because we just read the 70s and now we're getting into the 80s, which is probably going to be college time, falling in love, first boyfriend kind of thing, and potentially the start of their careers. So I'm pretty interested to see what Miss Kristen Hanna has in store for the 80s timeline. Now the 70s went by really fast, so, and it was the first 100 pages. I kind of like how we're going decade by decade in these girls' life. I don't know, like I can't, like to be honest, to be very frank, this is probably my least favorite Kristen Hanna book so far, but I've only read 100 pages. Like we have a lot of story to go, so I could eat my words. Hopefully I do. Let's see how much I can read today because it is the 23rd and hopefully I can finish this and maybe start one more before October. Oh my God. Hello, bestie. I figured I should give you an update since I have been reading. I just got to part 4, the new millennium. The last decade, the 80s, man, that was probably one of my favorites. There's a person cutting the palm trees on my balcony and they're just making a mess. Anyways, my update, okay? I loved the last decade. It had a lot to do with Katie's husband, Johnny, and I got a little tearful during that because Mr. Mans is in the military and some of the things that Katie was experiencing, it just hit a little close to home, if you know what I'm saying. And if you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. But it's making me want to watch the show or movie all the more. Is that even the right saying? I don't know. You better not fuck up my egg chair. They're dropping the pom-poms on my egg chair on the balcony. Also, the ending of the past decade of the 80s, super shocking. Super shocking. I did not see that coming. Oh, there's someone on my balcony. Ow. Eee. That is so funny. Yeah, thank you for protecting my egg chair. It's my favorite reading spot, thank you. So anyways, I'm enjoying it, and I found myself highlighting. Bingo is so confused. I found myself highlighting a lot in the last decade, so I'm excited to get back into the new millennium and kind of see where Katie potentially thrives and or not thrives. Tallulah/Tully is just so career driven and so work driven, whereas Katie is just happy to be a mom and whatnot. So yes, I'm watching this guy on my balcony. So that's my update. See, do you see the bean, you know? You're in air jail. Oh, one last update, okay? I made a pumpkin puree, maple syrup, brown sugar, coffee syrup, and I'm still trying to find like the right ratio because I want to be able to taste it, but the syrup itself isn't sweet enough, so I don't really know. I think it fits perfectly in my little syrup thing, so there we go. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading and try not to get caught by this man on my balcony. Okay, it's no surprise. I just finished Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. Man, this one I did not expect. Like, I think I was around right here and I was like, I could see myself crying because it is a Kristen Hanna book, but at the same time, like, maybe not. No, anytime that there are letters involved, they tug at my words of affirmation love language, and it hurts and it's sad, especially in this context. I think this is my least favorite Kristen Hanna book, but that doesn't mean it wasn't a bad book. The Nightingale and the women are just like god tier for me, so throughout reading it, I kind of felt slightly bored. I just kind of wanted to skim and read the dialogue. The way Kristen Hanna wrote the characters, sometimes in situations, I was just so frustrated with how they were handling things. I didn't agree with them, but at the same time, that's reality, that's life. People make decisions, they act on it, etc. So I think if I were a mother, I think this would be different. I think if I was older, maybe in my 50s or 60s, I think this would hit different. But here I am, a 24-year-old dog mom. I just feel like I could see myself rereading this and finding it as a god tier. So I'm rating on a 4.5. I still think the story is beautiful. I think the message is super important. Getting your health checked regularly is so important. And I think that is just like the overall message. I can see why it's a beloved, really loved book. Now all I want to do is watch the movie or show. I think it's a show. It is the 27th. I'm not wearing my watch. I think it's the 27th or 28th, so we have a couple more days left in the month, so I think we should go ahead and do my spin the wheel, see what the last book of the month is going to be, and see if we can try to read it before October. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention in my last mini review, immediate thoughts upon finishing Firefly Lane, I had to call my grandma. I had to call my mom, and I cried. I cried talking to them, and I definitely recommended this to them because I think that they would relate more to the whole motherhood, multi-decade relationship kind of things that are discussed in this book. So my grandma had a really good idea, and I think I'm gonna bake some pumpkin pie, pumpkin spice muffins with some chocolate chips just to make me feel a little bit better. So us women sometimes, I don't know if you can relate or if this is being too vulnerable on the internet, but when you are in middle school and high school, mother is like your biggest enemy, your biggest op, and I heavily related to that, so just made me feel bad. I told them I loved them today. This is your reminder. If you can, tell your mom, tell your grandma, tell your parents that you love them, because man, things can happen. And that's all I'll say on that, okay? I don't want to dwell too long because I'm sure this video is already too long. I mean, we're reading like 5-6 books, you know? So let's do the spin the wheel and see. I only have 2 left. What is it gonna be? Goodness, screen record. What is it? Okay. Honestly, this needed to be done. This needed to be done. So we are, in fact, going to be reading Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. It's 581 pages. My goodness. Dang, 581. Okay, well, I guess let's read and let's start Things We Left Behind. Let's start this. There's no better time than the present. I think I'm going to take a break from reading just because I read for about 3 hours already today. But I'm just gonna do a little brain rot and then we'll go ahead and pick this up later today. Very exciting. Look at that. I cannot tell if that is legitimate. I don't think it is. I think it's printed on. But either way, that's fine. I can dream that this is signed by Lucy Score. Look how many books she has. My goodness. And this was printed a couple years ago, so I can only imagine she has more. I kid you not, actually. Like, kid you not. See this? Kristen Hannah new story now. Can you see that? I was just talking about Kristen Hannah, and she just posted on her story. What did she put? This was 23 hours ago, but it's about the Nightingale becoming a movie. That's crazy, bitch. I was just talking about you. Hi bestie, I'm here to update you. So, I've actually been, did not mean to get up all in your face. I was just trying to show you where I am in Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. The book is downstairs, so I have my Kindle to hold, okay? So, I'm on chapter 25, literally quite in the middle of chapter 25, and I don't think I explained much about this book, so I'll give what I know now. Sloane, she's a librarian in Knock 'em Out. This is the final installment of the Knock 'em Out series. And then we also have Lucian. He, I think, works with the FBI. He is a very successful businessman. He gives off like mafia energy, and he's very much like, touch the people I love and I'll hurt you and or end you. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a very fun dynamic. I love the fact that there's like subtle hints of Sloane being a reader girl, a book girl. There's like some quotes that Lucian says, and he's like, every memory I have of you involves a book. That is so fucking cute. That is so fucking cute. So Sloane, she's kind of established in her career, established in the town, and she just wants to find a man, a family man, and settle down, maybe have some kids. And because around her, again, the Knock 'em Out series, she's surrounded by her best friends, and they're all married, and they're having amazing marriages, and they're having kids or whatever. And she is just like, when will it be my turn? Sloane is just kind of on dating apps. She wants to try to find a man to potentially settle down with, and Lucian is not having it. He's not having it, and I have not told you this yet, but they are actually like childhood friends and slash neighbors. And Lucian kind of grew up in a very, very abusive household, so if that is potentially a trigger, please go ahead and go into this with caution, and or just look at the other trigger warnings for this book, because there is a lot of domestic abuse. Basically, Lucian's dad was not a nice guy, and so he kind of feels, Lucian kind of feels like damaged goods, that he'll never be a good husband, that he's never going to be a good father, and so he just doesn't really think that's in his cards. Whereas Sloane was around the time when these things were actively happening, and Sloane was kind of like the comfort person for Lucian during that really difficult, unimaginable childhood. So I think they, I guess, like potentially trauma bonded over this, and so they have like this love-hate relationship where there's a lot of history between the two, but they also have like a huge tension, and they kind of hate each other because of their childhood. Something happened and Lucian feels extremely betrayed, and it's kind of ended ties for Sloane and Lucian. And so now that Lucian's in town and Sloane's the librarian and she's trying to find a husband, Lucian is just not having it. And I just have to say, I think their banter is so funny, specifically Sloane. I'm over here like cackling out loud at the things that she's saying to this man. It's just so funny. I love the banter. You can tell that there's a lot of history there and that they genuinely care for each other, but they don't want to say that. It has gotten quite spicy, I will say. If you don't like spice, potentially avoid this series. But I am loving the little glimpses and callbacks to the other characters in this series. I'm loving Sloane. She's a reader girl. She's hilarious. Lucian is just so protective and very like boss man, and I love that dynamic. So I really am enjoying it. I don't think this is gonna be like a 5 stars, where I thought like Things We Never Got Over was like a 5-star. That one was just like, that got me into reading kind of thing. So yeah, I think this is a great series. I love Lucy Score's writing. It is so easy to read. Oh my goodness, it's so easy. So yeah, I don't really have anything like really bad to say other than it's long. It is a long book, but I kind of understand when you are having callbacks to other characters and then you add trauma bonding, you have to kind of explain and or paint the image of the trauma to kind of, things could definitely be cut out for sure, but I think the writing is so easy and the characters are just so fun. I love that it's dual point of view. So that's my update. I don't really know percentage wise where I am. Okay, so it looks like I'm on page 336. That's honestly not too bad considering I started this probably like a full 24-ish hours ago. So I've definitely been reading a lot. I'm on page 336. I don't know percentage, I'm 58% through. Now, can I finish this before the end of the month? I do believe so. I do believe so because it's the 28th, so we have a full 2 more days to get through this book. We'll see if we can do it. I probably will continue reading it though today because, again, it's just a really easy, no-brain kind of power kind of read. So that is my update. I just wanted to pop in here because I don't think I explained what the book was about, and now that I'm 58% through, I can kind of tell you the dynamic of Things We Left Behind. Again, like the fall nails, the neutral, the brown leggings. Also, I think I mentioned this in the video before, but I think it's called a pumpkin maple coffee syrup, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and I butcher it every time, but I finally did it with matcha and it just tastes so much better. Like you can actually taste the syrup. When I was drinking it with coffee, I think the coffee bean that I have is just too strong, so I'm not really tasting it. But in matcha, it is game changer. So I think that is how I'm gonna have to drink and or use up the syrup that I made. Besties, you have reached the end of this video. If you have, thank you so much for being here. It truly, truly means the absolute world to me, and I'm just so glad that you came on this journey with me to read my September TBR. Just to give a recap plus one more, I don't have the Right Years physical copy. We didn't read Conditions of Will, but that doesn't mean I won't ever read it. Hopefully we can go ahead and reach for this somewhat soon. However, I have my fall TBR stack right here. It's a long one, and this is going to be my priority. So will I ever get to Conditions of Will? Yes, just not in the near future, I'm assuming. Unless you convince me otherwise in the comments. First book I read was The Bright Years by Sarah DeMoff. Easiest 5 stars ever. It has been weeks since I have finished that book and I have thought about it multiple times. Love that book, highly recommend. I think that's my favorite book that I read this entire video. Then we have 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand. Literally like a 2.5. Not probably going to unhaul it, not gonna recommend it. And yeah, I don't know. Is Ellen Hildebrand the author for me? I'm not sure. I know that the Academy is like kind of trending right now because it's giving like Gossip Girl fall energy, but again, I've heard mixed things about that too. So I don't know if you've read any other Ellen Hildebrand book or the Academy specifically. Let me know in the comments if I should try to pick her up again, but this one was just not for me. Nope. Then we have Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. I landed on 4 stars for this. I loved it and I cannot wait for In Your Dreams, the last installment of the When in Rome series. Highly recommend this series again. I love Sarah Adams' writing and she is very tapped. Then we read Kristen Hanna's Firefly Lane. This one was a 4.5 star. I think I'm leaning on a 4 star. I could totally see myself relating and rereading this in the future, but again, my least favorite, but that doesn't mean it was a bad one. I still cried and it made me reflect and call my grandma and my mom. So I think that says something. The message about checking your health and doing annual regular health checkups and appointments is so important, and I really loved that part. So loved it, but wasn't my favorite. Then finally, we finally read Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. I am so excited to have this off of my TBR cart. I am so glad to cross off this series on my list. How satisfying, and it was a satisfying read. I really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend this series if you like small town, dual point of view, spicy, good banter, wholesome books. I would definitely recommend. This one isn't so wholesome. Again, it has some like trauma bonding and heavier topics, but I think the first 2 are really good, and there's kind of like a mystery aspect like woven in between all of the books. So I really like that, and I like how they kind of connect all throughout the books. So I thought this was a great conclusion. I love Sloane, I love Lucian, and I also love all the other cameos in this book from the other characters. Did that make sense? Do you know what I'm saying? That is my quick recap. This was my TBR. This is what we read. I'm so freaking excited. And I am planning to start my October TBR reading vlog here shortly. Is it the middle of the month? Maybe, but that's okay. It's never too late to start. And that's my theme on my channel. So thank you so much for being here again. I truly just want to give you a virtual hug. Let me know what your favorite book was from September. What is your favorite book that you've read thus far in October? Let's have a chat in the comments. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you decide to subscribe and stick around for my next video. Bye.